Good morning and welcome to the Zach Ratliff Show. I'm Zach. Happy Monday, everybody. I hope you had a great weekend. Like I said in my in my short that I put out on YouTube, if you didn't have a good weekend, may your week get better. Anyway, I'd like to start out by thanking my sponsors of this show. That's Mortgage Financial Services, Elmwood Custom Goods, and Church on the Rock, Texarkana. That's churchontherock.org. All right, let's just jump right into this. I'm going to read this letter from Greg Abbott, and then we'll kind of rock and roll on it. Yeah, hold on. Golly, gotta zoom in though. Real Texans do not run from a fight. Hold on, let me see if I got a different. Yeah, real Texans do not run from a fight, but that's exactly what most of the Texas House Democrats just did. Rather than doing their job and voting on urgent legislation affecting the lives of all Texans, they have fled Texas to deprive the House of quorum necessary to meet and conduct businesses. These absences are not merely unintended and unavoidable interruptions in public service, like a sudden illness or family emergency. Instead, these absences were premeditated for an illegitimate purpose, what one representative called breaking quorum. Another previously signaled that Democrats would have to go by an extreme measure of quorum break to stop these bills from happening. In other words, Democrats hatched a deliberate plan not to show up for work for the specific purpose of abdicating the duties of their office and thwarting the chamber's business. This amounts to an abandonment or forfeiture of an elected state office. When the governor calls for a special session, our Constitution, the Texas Constitution, provides that the legislature shall meet. Texas Constitution, Article 3, Section 5. It is not optional. It is a duty. The absconded Democrat House members were elected to meet and vote on legislation, not to prevent votes that may not go their way. Every session, legislators on both sides of the aisle find themselves on the losing side of a legislative vote, especially if you're a conservative. And every session, it doesn't say that. And every session, most of these legislators find a way to disagree agreeably and behave like adults rather than going AWOL. This truancy ends now. The derelict Democrat House members must return to Texas and be in attendance when the House reconvenes at 3 p.m. on Monday, August 4th, 2025. For any member who fails to do so, I will invoke Texas Attorney General Opinion Number KP, which I think is funny because it's Ken Paxton, 0382, to remove the missing Democrats from membership in the Texas House. In that opinion, the Attorney General considered whether Texas law allows for determination that a legislator has vacated office. If they intentionally break quorum, the Attorney General concluded that whether a specific legislator abandoned his or her office such that a district court may determine that a legislator has forfeited his or her office due to abandonment, and can remove the legislator from office, thereby creating a vacancy. That empowers me to swiftly fill vacancies under Article 3, Section 13 of the Texas Constitution. In addition to abandoning their offices, the legislators may also have committed felonies. Many absentee Democrats are soliciting funds to evade the fines they will incur under House rules. Any Democrat who solicits, accepts, or agrees to accept such funds to assist in the violation of legislative duties for the purposes of skipping a vote has violated bribery laws. See Texas Penal Code SS 36.02. The same can be true of any person who offers, confers, or agrees to confer such funds to fleeing Democrat House members. I will use my full extradition authority and demand the return to Texas of any potential out-of-state felons. Boom. That's a lot, everybody. I've got some thoughts. Good for Greg Abbott, right? Well, let's get these people back here. They don't want the redistricting. But and look, I get it. But here's the thing. The party that runs to the press every time they don't get their way and says, we're not following democracy. We're not doing what we're we're not following the Constitution. They only do this when it helps them. Now, these same people, they're not doing what the people want. Except for when they don't get their way, they refuse to do what the people want. Because the people have voted a majority Republican Congress in Texas. But because they can't get their way and they can't have authoritarian rule over you and me, they're just going to not allow anything to happen. Now, here's the deal. These Democrats are empowered because Burrows, the Speaker of the Texas House, and the other rhinos voted with Democrats early this year to give them more power in the House. So they've already been emboldened because of a weak Speaker of the House. When you have rhinos that side with a weak Speaker of the House and allow Democrats any kind of power, you give them an inch to take a mile. We know the old saying. That is what has happened here. They're emboldened because there's never any consequences. It's like, let's use this on a societal example. Certain groups of people in this country always are able to claim anytime they get in trouble that, oh, well, that's racist. Oh, well, they don't like me because of my skin color. Oh, well, and so they never have to follow the same rules. Then you look up, and those people are getting shot for not following orders by cops. Hey, put your hands up. I don't have to do what you say. Stop, lay on the ground. I don't have to do what you say. Put that down. I don't have to do what you say. Don't touch me. I don't have to do what you say. And then eventually wind up getting shot because they're never made to follow any rules. Generally also Democrats. That same thing is happening now. The Democrats aren't getting their way, and when we told them that they lost, us the people, well, they didn't have to do what we said. They just corrupted enough, well, really, they just got enough cowardly Republicans to go with them to give them co-chairs, right, in the Texas House. We don't have to do what you say. Hey, we want these bills passed. We don't have to do what you say. Hey, we want this passed. We don't have to do what you say. Hey, okay, you don't pass what we want. The governor calls a special session. We want redistricting. We want all this. We don't have to do what you say. This is what happens when you lead with weakness. On the national level, for everything that people don't like about Donald Trump. Oh, he's mean. Oh, he's hateful, which I haven't seen any evidence of that. How could you do this? He does what he says, and he means it, and he says what he means. This is what we need in Texas, and good for. Look, not always a Greg Abbott fan. I agree with a lot of his policies. I'm still mad that he shut us down during COVID. I'm still mad for all the money that he caused my family and the stress he put on my family. Okay, but I can look past that for this act. Hey, good job. This is what we need. Now, take those seats away and let's do business. If you don't want to do this job, if you just want everybody to pat you on the hiney and tell you good job because you're a state representative, so what? You're no better than us. How many of you this morning, you know what, are just like, you know what we're going to do? Wherever your city is, you just call your boss like, hey, can't come to work because it happens, I'm out of town. And you're just going to have to pay me and deal with it. And to pay my way, I'm going to call all my friends to pay for my gas to make up for what I'm not getting. And if you find me, I'm gonna call some more friends and they'll pay for that. That isn't the way the real world works. Look, I've hired and fired hundreds of people. I would give you your walking papers and say, hey, you know what? Go ahead and enjoy that. Guess what? You don't even have to come back. You never have to step foot back in this operation because you don't have a job anymore. So take all the time you want. That's what leadership looks like, and that's what Greg Abbott is saying that is happening now. Hey, we're just going to call these seats vacated. And he was responsible. I'll give you till 3 o'clock on Monday. Come back. The part about Being a leader is fighting even when you know you're going to lose because it's right. Going and standing up. So if the Democrats really thought they were right, go stand up, make your point. But no, these people want to rule us. They don't want to represent us. They want to control us. They don't want to work for us. They don't want to be controlled. They want the glory. They want the pomp. They're the capital in the Hunger Games, right? A lot of Republicans are too, don't get me wrong. They don't want to be controlled. They don't want somebody to tell them what they can do. I'm a grown man. I can do what I want. No. You're a representative. Start acting like one. Does everybody in your district not get to go to work today if they have a job? Does everybody in your district not get to take care of the responsibilities? Does everybody in your district get to ask for friends to pay for them a vacation? Hey, pay for my hotel, pay for my food, pay for my fines. I'm doing this because it's good for Texas. You're not doing this because it's good for Texas. You're doing this because you want the publicity. You're doing this because you want your name in the paper. You're doing this because you think you'll be able to fundraise off of this at a later time. You're doing this to make the big bad orange man look bad. Anybody with any sense knows this is a publicity play that will not work. It's just wild to me that and there are people that would say, "Oh, it'll work. Yeah, it'll work out. Vacate the seats." That's where I am. So let's see what my next notes are. Same deal going on. And then Politico talked about this yesterday. I have an article from it. And it says, this is due to the redistricting. Dozens of Democrats plan to flee the state amid a special session Sunday afternoon, making a last-ditch effort to disrupt a mid-decade redistricting attempt forced by President Donald Trump. And yeah. Look. To the victor go the spoils. And I even had this conversation, I might have been on here on Friday. Republicans lost for so long that we're a bunch of losers. We hate to win. Republicans can't lead for anything because they don't know how. It's infuriating. Anything I've ever done in my life, I wanted to be the best at it. Even with this show. I want to see growth. I want to see improvement. I want to get better each and every day at what I do. It doesn't matter if it was martial arts when I was a child, if it was football when I was, in middle school and even elementary school, middle school, and high school. We were the best, right? I wanted to go win every karate tournament I entered. I want hell. If I go drinking beer with you, there's been times in my life where I want to be better at drinking beer than you are. Oh, you can do that. I can shotgun it faster. Following Jesus, I want to follow Jesus with my whole heart. I want him to say, "You did this the best you could." Whatever it is. When I managed retail stores, I wanted to be the best store there was. When I was in banking, I wanted to hit my numbers better than anyone else. No matter what it is, I want to be the best. I want to lead everyone around me to be better. Republicans don't have that. Oh, we all just need to play nice. No, we don't need to play nice. Kick somebody in the throat and go get it done. We are in control. Well, I hate the way that looks. Oh, don't look at it then. Go do what you have the balls to go do what we put you in there to do. And this is what Greg Abbott's doing. We need to vote out anyone who won't do that. Is what we need to do. If you want to be elected, look, I mean, you can go throughout history and see leaders that we elected that were real stand-up people. And if you don't agree with what's happening, stand up and make your case. But don't prevent the will of the people from happening. Now, if you want to do it via filibuster, which is an accepted move, stand up. Say what you got to say. But you're going to stop a quorum? Good for the governor for just saying, hey, as of 3 o'clock, these chairs will be vacated. Golly, it just, and I know I've already said this, we just want it to be fair. We want everybody to be treated the same. We want democracy. We want to follow the Constitution, except for they don't. They're liars, these Democrats. All right. So I've got this. Let's see where it is. Stephen Miller, this is on Maria Bartiromo over the weekend. Stephen Miller just confirms that the statute of limitations has not expired for the perpetrators of the Russia collusion hoax. John Ratcliffe also came out and said that, saying that the last act of conspiracy is when the statute of limitations begins, and it hasn't even, we're not even sure the last act has happened yet from everybody covering all this up. We're looking at this, seeing that, hey, there are going to be, there are going to be indictments coming. There are going to be, it looks like heads could roll. They're at least going to be indicted. Now, Trump was indicted, and technically he was booked, right? So we'll see what happens. But on this Russiagate, on these documents that they're feeding to us slowly, we need to be paying attention to this. So just on that side of it, there was a coup that happened in our country, and it started the day that Donald Trump won the first election. And I hope he ferrets it all out. I hope he gets them. So let's talk about this. Let's take, and I know that my notes are kind of jumbled, so that's why I threw that in there. Let's go back to the Texas Democrats and what they're doing, and then let's go to what the national Democrats are doing. And this is, what's his name? Mark Mulwayne, I think? Mullen. He says, and this is the other night, when Thune, I've been mad that Thune's going to shut down the Senate, or not shut it down, and that the Speaker of the House of the United States isn't going to go to recess, so Trump can't make recess appointments. It looks like due to Senate rules, they were trying to make some concessions, work with the Democrats, and here again, Republicans can't lead, and the Democrats were asking for about $1 billion in programs in order to get these appointments through for Donald Trump. $1 billion. Like, that's crazy, number one. They were holding a ransom the business of once again, it's the Democrats doing this. And so they just say, you know what? Everybody go home. Good for Donald Trump, once again, being a leader. This isn't the way we should do this. Now, here's the problem. John Thune and the Senate Republicans, they set the rules of the House. They could have headed this off at the pass, as they say, at the beginning of the legislative session. Hey, we're going to have this rules where 51 votes is all it takes to move anything out of committee or whatever. To do away with because the filibuster rule is now if you don't have 60 votes, it basically doesn't happen. Throw that away. Let's go with 51. Let's go with straight how it should be. But the Republicans are so used to being losers and nobody holding them accountable that they can't even do that. Anyway, now they're saying, well, when we get back, we're going to change the rules and make these... just like these Democrats in Texas. Who gets a month off? The first thing they say, Mike Johnson, Speaker of the House, the first thing they say is, oh, we're gonna go to break, and then we're gonna work on changing these rules. Then the day after the break starts, you see Mike Johnson in Israel. Okay, good. Go to Israel. Don't do it on a recess you don't even need, on a recess that happens because they used to not have air conditioning on Washington, D.C., that I'm sure we at least paid security for. I see no reason ever for a representative to be international on business. That's what the State Department's for. There to represent us. Now, if you want to take personal vacation, go do that. The rest of us don't just get to, I mean, I guess we can decide when we go on vacation, but a lot of you, for sure, a lot of you have to ask for vacation, which is a wild concept too. I could really rabbit hole on that. And then you have to put in and make sure time's approved and all that. You don't just get to say, hey, you know what, we're going to have a break here because they've always had it. It reminds me of a story. It's like the lady who was making a roast, right? Her husband's watching. She gets the roast out and she cuts the end of it off. Throws that good meat away. He's like, oh, hey. She puts it in the pan, does her thing, puts it in the oven. He's like, why'd you cut that end off? He's like, that's just the way we do it. Okay. Calls her. He's like, well, why do you do it that way? She calls her mom. Hey, why don't we cut the end off the roast? I don't know. That's the way Mom did it. I guess it makes it taste better or something. That's what we're supposed to do. So then she calls Grandma. Hey, Grandma, call Mom. I've been cut the end off the roast like you do. You know, and it's always pretty good. Why aren't we doing that? Grandma says, oh, well, I didn't have a big enough pot. Don't just do stuff because that's the way it's always been done. It doesn't matter in your life. You don't need a recess in August because you have an air conditioner in Washington, D.C. You have all the convenience of the modern world. You don't have to worry about being too hot. You don't have to worry about, suffocating in the swamp that is Washington, D.C., literally. Stay. Do your job. They won't stay and do their job in Washington, D.C. at the national capital. They won't stay and do their job in Austin at the Texas Capitol. What in the hell are we paying these people to do? Why are we allowing this? Why do we continue to elect, as The Rock used to say on WWE, these jabronis to do whatever they want to do? They do not rule us. They do not rule us. We have one ruler. We have one ruler. His name is Jesus Christ. You people will let these people rule you and run all over you, and you won't even stop in the morning to pray and give him thanks. You won't even acknowledge that he exists, but you'll let these people run over you like trash. How backwards is this world? Golly, just gets all over me. But I've got good news. Our ruler is Jesus Christ. And everything in the end, he wins. No matter what you're going through today, give it to him. And I'm not going to say it's all going to be better immediately, but you'll have peace for it. At some point, you'll have understanding with it. And one day you'll get to dance with him in glory. I hope God blesses each and every one of you today. We'll be back and do it all again tomorrow. Thank you. Have a good day.